So here we are on Faith on Fridays, the noon edition. We've been doing this for a couple of months, and I'm Terry McHugh, part of the pastoral team, and here today is Pastor Scott Blevins. A lot of times for Faith on Friday, it's me and Pastor Chip, but today we get to have Pastor Scott. And so we're our noon one is really a chance for us to interact with folks, and we invite you into the Zoom room if you would like to. And I just put a link on there, but the Zoom, it's zoom.us, and the number is 682-247-5404. It's actually always the same at noon. So you can jump in to the waiting room, and then we'll let you in. We'll ask you who you are if we don't know you, but don't be offended by that. We just want to make sure we know who you are. So, but we love it when people come into the room and chat with us, but we also love it if you're just watching on Facebook Live. And we say it's an interactive devotion. A lot of times we'll talk about the last week's message, and we've been in this series on spiritual PPE, personal protective equipment, but we've somehow finally, Scott, we are finally in the season. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one where it gets warmer.
I think summer. Are we?
Summer.
It's
yes.
almost summer. Almost.
Well, yeah. So we actually had some really hot weather. It's a beautiful day today, and God's creation is amazing. And we thought for today we'd talk a little bit about summertime, when the living is easy, as they say.
Fish are jumping.
That's right. And so we're still, we're still sheltering in presence in a lot of ways, but people are getting out to the parks. People are just looking at what does summer look like in the pandemic. And so I was really excited that Pastor Scott had time to be with us, because he's been working on a virtual summer camp, which we're going to ask him to talk about. But I thought I'd like to start by talking about maybe some summer memories, or maybe something that you're looking forward to as for this summer, for you, for your family. And we'll pick up folks as they're watching and as they join us. But I'll start with like a summer memory. And I grew up in the East Coast in the greater New York area, but I had family in New Jersey near Atlantic City. So a real highlight of the summer is we would pack up, me and my two brothers, and go stay at my aunt and uncle's near Atlantic City. And we'd go to the boardwalk, and we'd go to the the ocean, and we would just get all sunburned, and but it was really just a lot of fun. And so that's one of my favorite summer memories. So Pastor Scott, how about you? What's something from a summer you remember?
Oh man, I got summertime. I have loved summertime for as long as I can remember. In fact, I was telling Amy last night, we were talking about, no, it's not officially summer yet till the 21st and the solstice and all that sort of thing. But I remember as a child being stunned to discover that summer didn't start as soon as school was out. That to me, summer always meant no school. I get to have fun. I get to do exciting things. Our family, when we vacationed as a family, was always in the summertime. And so that was always a big part of our summer experience. And then, of course, camp, which we're talking about virtual summer camp today. And I have done some sort of summer camp since I was like 8 or 9 years old, when I first started in 4-H. For those of you who know what 4-H is, it's primarily a rural thing, but I went to 4-H camp, and then a couple years after that started going to church camp. And I actually worked when I was in college for 4 summers as a full-time staff person at Camp Otterbein, which is a United Methodist run church camp in southeastern Ohio in the Hocking Hills area. And which is where Amy and I started dating. And
if you don't know, Amy is Scott's wife.
Yes, Amy is my wife. I should have said that. Yes, it wasn't some past girlfriend that I started dating there that I still have. It was actually Amy, my wife. So camp summer and camp have just always gone together for me. And so that's why I'm excited about the virtual summer camp experience with Garfield Church here this year.
Yeah. So there's a couple of folks who've jumped in. We're on this Faith on Fridays at noon. We're talking about summer, and Pastor Scott's going to share about a virtual summer camp. But we're just starting out by asking asking about fond summer memories, how you think of summer. Could be something you're looking forward to. So feel free to jump in on the chat, and or you can join Pastor Scott and I. We promise we won't bite if you want to come into the room. I perhaps I should not really say this, but I was forced to go to summer camp, and I hated it. I just hated it because.
Oh wow! Well, you didn't go to my camp. That's the problem.
I know. So if only I'd had a virtual summer camp or something else, I probably would have liked it better. But I was pretty shy and introverted and self-conscious and unathletic, and I was a little bit chubby, and got teased for that a lot. So so anyway, so this is now Pastor Terry's therapy session. So I'll tell you all my sad stories. But I mean, there were some fun times in it, but it was not as wonderful as yours were. But so again, anybody, if you have any summer things you want to talk about, but I want to talk while we're waiting to see if folks jump in. So again, Faith on Fridays at noon. And by the way, at 5 o'clock, we'll go in a different direction for Faith on Fridays. It will be just a Facebook Live event. We won't be inviting people into the room, but we're going to have two people from law enforcement joining Pastor Chip and I. We're going to have a conversation regarding police and race and some of the things that are going on. So we're taking kind of a light tone today at noon, and we'll be taking a look at maybe some harder conversations at 5. But so we hope you'll pop back in if you'd like then. But today we're talking about summer, and I really wanted Pastor Scott to share about the virtual summer camp that he's been working on for kids. I think it's a good thing for folks to know about. And so Scott, how did you even come up with this idea? And tell us a little bit what it is.
Yeah, so when COVID-19 hit and the shelter in place began, and at first, I don't know, I was like, it seemed like thinking like what it seemed like many other people were thinking, that this will be couple of weeks and then we'll get back to normal. And then as the shelter in place stretched on, and it was announced that schools would be canceled, and then that most group summer activities for children would be canceled, and particularly in the South Euclid and Heights area, I began thinking about how can we engage kids over the summer. We often do our summer mission trips. This was not a year for those anyway. We only do those every other year. And then we have done some children's day camp kinds of things here at the South Euclid campus. And I say here because that's where I'm sitting right now, at the South Euclid campus. We've done some of those as well, but none of those were options. And yet kids, they weren't going to have summer sports to do. They weren't going to have the summer pool to go, the city pool to go to, the parks and playgrounds. And so we're thinking, what can we do to connect meaningfully with kids over the summer, give them something enjoyable, meaningful, engaging to participate in, and yet still not run the risk of gathering children and having them get infected with a serious illness or share that illness with other folks back home. And the idea of virtual summer camp was born out of that. I talked about it with some folks at the city and some other folks on our leadership team at the church. Everyone seemed to think it was a great idea. As many great ideas are, it was a lot easier to think of than it has been to execute. And so putting all of the pieces together and getting it launched has been a real challenge, but you're going to start seeing pieces of this showing up next week. You think it's a good time to show the slide here, Terry?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to share my screen, and you can see our first promotional slide, which if you watch our worship this Sunday on any of our live stream options, you'll see it, but you're getting a sneak preview now, which is virtual summer camp. And what it's going to be and what it is a series of videos that will be on our YouTube channel. And each of the videos will be short, and like summer camp, they'll cover a lot of different things. If you've ever been to camp or any of the, the camps, at least was a part of, had a ton of different things. We had physical activities, we had music, we had arts and crafts kind of activities. We did really, really bad little drama sketches, and we did, of course, storytelling and stories around the campfire, and Bible studies and Bible lessons. We cooked our own food, and all of those kinds of things are going to be part of our virtual summer camp. We have shot some of the videos already and are editing them, and you'll see the first round of videos showing up on YouTube next week. And then we're going to continue to shoot videos over the next month and continue to put those up. And the videos will be there on demand for kids to enjoy and experience, not just this summer, but anytime. And not just kids, if we were doing it in face-to-face, we would be limited to geography. And so kids that could make it to the South Euclid campus would be the only ones that participate. But because it's online, anyone from anywhere in the world that has an internet connection that can get to YouTube can participate in our virtual summer camp this summer. So we've got the first round of videos that are going to come up. We're going to have a set of balloon bending videos. Balloon Crazed Jays, also known as JC Ventura, who does balloon bending at all of our big events, has done for us a series of instructional videos on how to make balloon animals. And as part of that, because not everyone keeps a supply of long, skinny balloons at their house, we do have balloon bending starter kits with 100 balloons and an air pump, a hand pump, that you can email in info@garfieldchurch.org, and we'll get one of those kits to you free of charge. And then your kids can make their own balloon animals under the careful instruction of Balloon Crazed Jays, JC Ventura. We've got Tim Jackson, who is a gym teacher in schools as well as a personal trainer, has done a series of instructional videos on some basic stretching and physical fitness exercises that kids of any skill level or fitness stage can participate in. And then, if the videos are so short that your kids don't work up a good sweat, you just play it in a loop and they have to do it over and over and over again. Genevieve Reed is going to be doing some Bible story videos for us, as well as some arts and crafts videos, and maybe even a couple of cooking videos, because how can you have summer camp if you're not doing at least one meal a day where you're cooking your own food? And we promise you, we're not going to have your kids building a campfire in your family room. I guarantee you
that's good news indeed.
That is good news. So lots of safety as along with that as well. And then we're going to have prayer videos, teaching your kids how to pray. Catherine Kushwitz who is an artist, is going to do some art videos with, again, simple supplies that your kids may already have at home or can get their hands on easily, colored pencils or even just regular pencil drawings, how to draw, how to create a piece of art that they can enjoy and share with family and with friends. So these videos are going to be continuing to be rolled out as the summer goes on, and will be available through YouTube. I'm going to take this off and go back to full screen so you can see our lovely faces even better. We're going to have the official kickoff with this with a live DJ dance party. It's going to stream live to YouTube. We might even stream it to Facebook as well with a real live, authentic, amazing DJ Hope. And we're going to have the Zoom open, not to the general public, but to some families that are willing and able to participate and have their kids be kind of like that studio. I remember, if you ever watch Bandstand, and you know how they'd play the music and then they'd put the camera on people that were dancing, some of them with more skill and some of them with less skill. We're going to do that kind of thing via Zoom, and that the kids will be dancing at home in front of their cameras. And so we'll be able to see kids enjoying the music while DJ Hope is leading us in a DJ dance party. And he does a great job, not only of playing music, but of getting kids up and moving, and of bringing a spiritual focus and spiritual emphasis into the music and the dance as well. So all of those things are happening. Right now, the main videos that are coming out right now are focused on younger kids, grades, first through fifth grade is our primary target audience for these initial things that are coming out. But we are adding some things down the road. It might not come out under the virtual summer camp brand, but it's in the same vein, only for older kids. Craig McGahey, our choir director, whom you may or may not know, was led choirs and musicals in Cleveland Heights schools for years, is going to be directing a readers theater for high school students, junior high and high school students, that will be done via Zoom as well. And so we're really excited about that. And we're also going to be adding some video game stuff with the Xbox One and some of the sports games to connect with high schoolers once we get this first wave of children's videos out for virtual summer camp. And if you haven't taken notes on all of that, you can always replay this video on demand after we're done with the live stream. Is that enough, Terry? Is that like drinking through a pressure washer? Do I need to say even more?
Well, I guess I think that paints a really good picture of it. And I know this is, again, an unusual Faith on Fridays. Usually we're maybe a little more devotional, but really the reason that we're doing this, Pastor Scott and I were talking a little bit before, and, Jesus says, let the little children come to me. And we've been working really hard at having things like Monday musings and Faith on Worship Wednesdays and Faith on Fridays as a way of trying to stay engaged with folks when they can't get together in person as much or in different ways. And so we, I think that's really Pastor Scott's heart for that, led to a way to be able to reach kids and in the community. But I mean, the beautiful thing is it's not limited to South Euclid. So if you're watching, whether you're watching this live or later, if kids of, particularly right now in the elementary age, this is a great way for them to connect. And there's a, spiritual focus as well. But I just thought it was important to start to get the word out about this. And
yeah.
Summer is in full swing, whether or not the calendar got us there yet, but we are experiencing summer, which is awesome. And the joys of God's creation. So I think that we also would ask for you guys to pray for this and pray that people would find it. And, Garfield Memorial Church does have a YouTube channel. It's just look for Garfield Memorial Church on YouTube, and you can subscribe, and that way you'll get notifications when new stuff comes up there. And so that's a place you might want to check out as well, or invite people to. So I think that I don't know if there's anything else we want to share about it, or if anybody has any questions or thoughts on. We started talking about some memorable summer, and the other thing is we really want to make this a memorable summer in a positive way, right? It could be a memorable summer for kids for all the things they couldn't do, or maybe they're used to doing, or families are used to doing, and they're still, hike and enjoy the outdoors. But this is a way to have that kind of camp experience in a kind of a communal way that's linking our faith and linking these kind of activities. And I saw one of the balloon twisting videos. I just might have to get a kit and try it.
I think you need to, Terry. You can create the second video, which is another video which you haven't seen yet, is how to make a balloon dog. And I know you have a puppy, and this would give your puppy another dog to play with. So
that's true.
For at least a short period of time.
For a very short period of time.
and which I also want to say, this virtual summer camp project is frankly going to be an ongoing project, and the videos will stay available on the YouTube channel. If you have a talent or a skill or an art or something that you think, oh, when I do this, kids love it. When we have family gatherings, all the kids ask me to do this, and you're willing to appear on camera, we might be able to videotape you and put that up, and you could be part of virtual summer camp forever that way. Just shoot us an email at info@garfieldchurch.org and tell us what it is that you would like to do as part of virtual summer camp, and we'll see if we can work that out. So we got the opportunities and the options really are virtually unlimited. How about that? Did you see what I did with that, Terry? Was that good? That's if you've got a series of great dad jokes, we could do a whole virtual summer camp dad jokes series if you've got that, which makes me think of the fact that I have a lot of dad jokes I could do, uh, this has opened up a whole new realm of possibilities,
Okay,
Terry.
so
So
I think we need to refocus. So want to say hi to those of you that are on Facebook Live again. And again, we're being a little more lighthearted today at our noon faith on Friday, and but talking about an important ministry for the virtual summer camp. I know it doesn't seem like that may apply to all of you, but I think all of us know kids or have some connection to kids somewhere. So that's something that you can pass along. But also thinking about the blessings that we have
yeah,
in God's creation and the summertime. So I think we actually will wrap up before too long. But I guess I'd like to invite again anybody who's watching, if you have something you want to share, you might have a question about the virtual summer camper, something you're looking forward to this summer, summer memory, just anything that might be jogged or something that you feel blessed about right now as the weather finally is breaking and we're getting outside a little bit more. So
and
just want,
while we're watching the feed come in on Facebook, I have another very specific summer camp memory. The camp I worked at was a component of it. The part of it I worked with was a in the woods tent camping portion. It wasn't super roughing it. The tents were on wooden platforms, but it was canvas tents. They were large. We could fit 6 kids in there plus an adult, which was a lot of fun. Um, and I remember one of the first nights I spent out in the woods at the camp in one of those tents. And I woke up, and the way you always had your head toward the side of the tent, which was the lowest part of the canvas, because the tents went down like this. And so the canvas was about that far above your head when you were lying in the cot, the part that was closest to you. And I woke up one morning, and there on the canvas right above my head was a spider that was about that big. Now that was legs extended. Its body was only about that big. It was about that big. It was a huge spider. And I don't like spiders. And none of the kids that woke up, we never told the kids about that in advance because the spiders weren't always there. And we didn't want to alarm them. But when they were there, the kids would often get up screaming in the night about the spiders. And here's the spiritual application here, that no one wanted the spiders in the tent, and everyone thought of the spiders as a curse, as a bad thing, if you will, and kind of like the COVID-19 situation that's happening right now. The reality is the spiders ate mosquitoes, and they didn't bite people. For whatever reason, even though the spiders were really, really large, they physically were unable to bite a person. Their mouths were so small. And so there was absolutely no danger to the kids or to the adults like me who don't like spiders. And the spiders were in fact a blessing. And I've seen that more and more over the years, that things that come in to my life sometimes at first glance look like a curse and look like a really, really bad thing, but through the back door God brings a blessing into that situation. And I think, as Terry was saying, with this shelter in place and stay at home stuff, it's easy to focus on what we're losing out on. But if we can flip that switch and look at from the other direction and say, what are we gaining by this? What experiences and connections with other human beings and with God are we going to be able to have that we wouldn't have otherwise had if we were doing all of the normal stuff we do in the summer? So there's my summer camp story. One more. So I still don't like those spiders. I don't like them.
that's actually really, really good. So I think before we go, if anybody wants to jump in, on we asked about summer things, and Pastor Scott was talking about our virtual summer camp that we're offering um, for elementary kids, and then some things for a little bit older kids later in not too long. But I guess the last question I'll ask is, if it's has the spider of COVID-19 eaten any mosquitoes in your life, right? So I think that's a great image in some ways, because something that we, certainly does have extreme negative impact. And so I'm not minimizing that at all. But if in terms of the changes in our lifestyle that have come to many of us, what are the blessings that have come out of that? And, I think for me, it's been a bit of a reshuffling, and some things that I've been able to let go of that weren't as essential to do as I thought. And so, example, I am very committed to going to the gym, and go all the time, 6 days a week, and I was devastated when the gym's closed. I mean, that sounds so trivial, but working out is important to me, and it's sort of helps me keep balance with the demands of ministry. But so I have a 2-year-old German Shepherd, now really dog, and so I just committed I'm going to just walk the heck out of her, and that has become really sacred time where I'm very often in prayer, praying for my neighborhood, praying just in general, or I might listen to a podcast or to an audiobook, or just listen to nothing, and just really enjoy and be more watchful of everything around me as I'm taking those walks. So the gyms have opened up and I haven't gone back yet. And I probably will at some point. But so that's an example from your story, Scott, about something people were scared of in that camping experience of these big spiders, but the big spiders were eating mosquitoes. So I think the sheltering in place has helped eat some of the mosquitoes of my kind of distractions in other ways, and gotten me to focus more on God and really creation. To just look at, especially as from before really spring really started, and to the flowers blooming and everything else. So that's something that comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
So
that's beautiful stuff. And I love that. Yeah. Going from the gym workout to walking the dog. And there's something very, I don't know, I find refreshing and enlivening about walking the dog in the neighborhood, and kind of walking that same route and seeing people. So yeah. That's a good thing. And
people engage more than maybe they did before. So we've made some connections with our neighbors. So anything coming through here on the feed, or?
Mary Bissell Hogue says that they're in Jacksonville, Florida. Summer brings fire ants and rainstorms almost every afternoon.
Wow.
To which I replied, so she's seen fire and she's seen rain.
Okay, which is a reference to a James Taylor song.
Yes.
For those who may not know, James Taylor, actually he was on The Voice as a coach.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Past season, yeah. So, but I think a lot of people don't know him.
Yep. I was going to say he's old like me, but I think he's even older than me. In fact, I know he's even older than me.
He's even older than me. So, good Lord. Anything else?
That's all I got.
All right. Any last comments from Facebook?
Mary says that James Taylor is her favorite artist.
Awesome. So. All right. Well,
that's all we're seeing. So
again, look for stuff on the virtual summer camp, and come back for Faith on Fridays at 5 o'clock edition, where we will, Pastor Chip and I will be talking to some longtime people who've been in law enforcement about policing and race and some of those things. So we've been a little lighter this afternoon for talking about summer camp, and this is a way that when Jesus says, bring the children unto me, this is a concrete way we're doing that. So tell folks about it if you know kids in elementary school. And thanks for joining us, everybody. And we will see you later. So God bless. And see you soon.
God bless you all. Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.